Hello everyone, and welcome to the first webinar of the IOPES project. Today we're going to have the first webinar of the project that is going to be presented by Eulalia Perez. Eulalia is one of the most visible faces of the project, as she works for the coordinating organizations, the Telecommunications Technological Center of Catalonia, whose acronym is CTTC. And within the CTTC, Eulalia is a researcher at the Geodesy and Navigation Department, and her research is currently focused on the development of new positioning algorithms, from GNSS to INS-based multi-sensor systems focused on urban and indoor mapping applications. This research that Eulalia conducts is in fact very much connected with the technical objectives of the IOPES project. Given that this is the first webinar of the project, I think it's worth giving 5 cents of the project, especially for those who are not familiarized with it. Well, the IOPES project, first of all, the acronym of the IOPES stands for Indoor-Outdoor Positioning for Emergency Staff. The project has a duration of 2 years that started in January 2020 and is co-funded by the European Commission and the Directorate-General European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operation, the latter also known as the DG ECHO. The overall goal of the project is to increase the safety and the effectiveness of civil protection and emergency teams in disaster-related actions, and to improve their decision-making processes resulting from natural or from human-made disaster. Specific objectives are to provide continuous information about the location of emergency teams, track their positions, build detailed maps of the area in short times, or use an easily deployable LTE 5G portable autonomous communication system to overcome possible inoperative infrastructures in the area. But I think that Eulalia will explain us a little bit more this objective. So the webinar given today by Eulalia will give a global vision of the project, and the particular title is A Step Further in Emergency Staff Positioning, Improving Their Safety. Finally, I would like to say that the webinar is expected to last between 20 and 25 minutes, but at the end of the webinars, we're going to open a question time of about 10 minutes, where you all will be able to formulate your questions to Eulalia. So you will have to type in your questions in the chat, and I will read the question for Eulalia, who will kindly respond them. This is everything. I'm going to switch off my camera and give the floor to Eulalia. So Eulalia, whenever you like, you can start.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the nice introduction, and welcome to all of you, wherever you are. This is my first webinar. It's a little bit strange to talk to a computer and not face-to-face with people. That it's what I like a lot, to talk to people, to discuss with people. But I will do my best. So welcome. And the first, I would like to say that it's an honor for me to give this presentation, to give this short talk about this nice project, the IOPES project. As David said, this is a project that is co-financed by the European Union in the frame of the DG ECHO program. It started just 6 months ago. And I'm the coordinator, but I'm just one of the faces of this project. This project, it's a project that involves more than 7 partners. It involves 7 partners plus some end users that are helping us not directly involved in the project, but as collaborators, and involve more than 16 people of 5 different countries. So it's a nice project, a multidisciplinarity project. You will see in the next minutes. And I'm very happy to share this project with all these people, that it's different people from different backgrounds, and we try to work together in order to get something that it's interesting, and we hope that it can be useful. So what all these people, what this almost 20 people wants to do in the frame of this project, it's very easy. We'd like to do a step further, just a small step, in order to increase the safety and the effectiveness of civil protection equipment and emergencies in different scenarios that are disaster-related scenarios. We don't care if it's natural or if it's man-made scenarios. We know that nowadays the emergency teams are still facing with some problems when they need to arrive to an area where a disaster happened, and we'd like to help them or to make the things easier to them in order to take decisions. How we can do this? The idea is to ensure these emergency teams that they have all the information that is required in order to assume some decisions and to assume some risks, and to provide them with information that maybe now they do not have that easily, or maybe they are not using technology that is available and that could be very useful for them. So we want to use quick indoors and outdoors cartography generation. We'd like also to use continuous monitorings of the teams, of the personnel that it's inside of the buildings, that it's on the field, where they are. There are times that they simply lose their people. So we'd like to help them to know where the people are. And of course, in these times of communications, where communications are all around, and we are with our mobile phone system every day, and just if we cannot make a call, it's like desperate to us. You have to believe, to think that when there's a big disaster, communications often fall down. So we need to ensure that they have communications independently on the infrastructure that it's already deployed on the field. So, given this small introduction to the project, let's talk about what I'd like to explain to you today. The project just started 6 months ago. We have a plan for 2 years, but today we'd like to present you what we already have done during this month, and this is going to be the basis of today's presentation. So first of all, I would like to explain to you how this project was conceived, which is the seed of this project. Then I will show you some of the first project outcomes, what are the work that we have done during this month, and which are the results, and what can be tangible, the results. Okay. Then briefly a short overview on the applicability of the project, and also I would talk a little bit about the consortium. So how this project started? It started, the original idea started more than 2 years ago, when we detected some needs from users. We talked with different emergency teams, and more or less we hear their needs, we hear the things that they fail to obtain, or their desires, or how they see the future could be. Okay, and then we have a set of needs that within the IOPES project, we have the teams that can provide first-hand needs for us. It's the people, the firefighters of Denmark, the FBPR firefighters. We have also Pau Costa Foundation. Pau Costa Foundation, they have a lot of experience in fires and what are the missing things when they have to face a big fire. And we also have the Sarai company. Sarai company, it's a company that is developing emergency management system, but it's also integrated by volunteers on Iceland, that they are always there when an emergency happens in Iceland. They go there, they participate on the rescue, so they are volunteers that knows by first hand which are the needs for the emergency staff. Okay, on one hand, we have these needs, and mainly what they told us is sometimes we do not know where our people are. So maybe it's because it's foggy, sometimes it's because it's smoky, sometimes it's because it's inside of a building, sometimes it's because it's inside of a cave. But it happens to us that we do not know where our people are. And if, for example, it's in the middle of an earthquake and there's another event of the earthquake, maybe we are lost, and the people that needs to take decisions do not know exactly where the people are. It's not just about searching for people, it's about also taking care of your own people. So they have that need. Okay, on the other hand, we have technology. As you all know, the technology is evolving very fast, about positioning, about communications, all kind of technology. It's the state of the art of technology. It's day and night from 2 or 3 years. Okay, and we have the lucky thing of being in contact with different technology providers in different fields. Okay, for example, we have the people from Alphanet from Italy, that they are able to deploy a communications network very fast and independently on the infrastructure of the place when the emergency occurs. This means that if communication towers fall down, if we are completely blind, okay, we can just deploy a system like the one that is provided by Alphanet, and then we will have communications, not just between all our team, but also we can provide a radio link to the satellite, and we can communicate with the commander-in-chief, that maybe it's not in the place of the emergency, but maybe it's 100, 200, 500 kilometers from the place that we are. Then, of course, in a project where we'd like to see, where we want to geolocate people, stuff, okay, we believe that drones must be there. So within this project, we talked before starting the project with 2 companies that are have a long expertise on flying airpass. It's Cape UAV and it's Scarabot. And you say 2 companies? Yeah, it's important for us to have the 2 phases of the drones companies. We have people that fly, especially fixed-wing drones that can do very, very fast mapping, that can locate. And we have also the multi-rotor drones that can be static there, that can be used as a radio link for communications, that can be used just to provide video of a spot that it's needed, that you need to monitor that spot. Okay, and we have, of course, all this information. We have in mind that this is not just for technology. It's not, hey, people, you have the technology here, just use it. No, this is not the goal of the project. The goal of the project is how to make all this technology useful for the staff of the emergency teams. They have a lot of things to think, a lot of decisions to take, and they should not be worried about if the GPS or if the camera or if the positioning system or if the drone. No, this should be transparent to them. They need the information clear, properly presented, and they should see, just with one click, they should have everything there, and they should be able to take decisions from that. And since we are technology background, okay, we try to involve to the project people that have a lot of expertise in presenting this information, in knowing how this information should be presented in order to make decisions easier. And this is the people from Sarai, from Iceland. So as you can see, we have the needs on one hand, we have the technology and the technology providers by the other hand. And within this project, what we present to the European Commission, and we said, hey, we want to know if this technology could be the solution for these needs. So This project is about testing how well this technology can fit the needs of these end users, and how to transfer this technology to them in order not to be something that it's more a noise than a help. So, let me show you what are the work that we've been doing during this first month. First of all, first thing that needs to be done in any project is to really understand what this project is about. So instead of writing ourselves the user requirements or the system requirements, we go to the end users, we sat with them in a round table, and we just listen. We listen for quite a huge number of hours to their needs, to try to understand exactly how they are working and how we can fit our technology in their chain of daily operations. So inside of the consortium, we have the people from Denmark, the firefighters of Denmark. They have a strong experience in flooding events, and they present us how they act, how their routines, how the procedures are, which is the equipment that they are using, which is the environmental conditions they need to work this. And all this was invaluable information in order to define which should be the requirements of our system. We did exactly the same with the people on Sarai, that has a strong expertise also in emergencies, but not in floodings, but in earthquakes and volcanic events that are quite different. And the reaction should be quite different because they also have a lot of landslides, and it's not the first one. It's wet and there's water everywhere. It's fast, but then it's static. Okay, and the second, it's something that happens and you need to react very, very quick. We have also been in contact with the people of the user team of Tuscany, okay, the firefighters of Tuscany that are in charge of rescuing people after the earthquakes. They have a lot of experience in Italy, but also all around the globe when there's a big disaster and help it's asked. They go there. They have very, very strong expertise, and they explain us about all the steps on a rescue. Okay, how they arrive to the place, if they can arrive to the place, how they map the place, how they decide where to search, how to react, if they can enter or cannot enter to the buildings that collapse. They explain about all the methodology, that it's very strict. And within this explanation, we try to see, okay, can our technology fits there? It's compatible, it's not compatible. But this is only three users, okay? We want to be sure that this is really extendable to all the emergency communities. So together with Denmark people and with the University College of Copenhagen, we start knocking the doors of different emergency teams all around Europe. And we prepare questionnaires for them. We prepare a list of requirements, if they agree, if they do not agree. And at the end, we were able to collect 21 answers from different end users from 6 different countries. Okay, and we performed interviews by teleconference with 5 experts from Denmark, Germany, Iceland, Spain, and Italy. So beyond the end users that are involved directly in the project, okay, we also have the testimonials. We also have the information that comes from external people. So then we have all these needs. We have a compilation of all these needs. We have all these needs in a nice document and with different priorities. And with that, it's the moment to analyze our technologies. Okay, that it's AirPass, it's indoor-outdoor positioning system, it's portable communications, and it's an emergency management system that it's already in use. And we have to see how we can merge all this together in order to make this work. So we have the big question here. It's how can all these technologies be useful for them and not to be a noise? which is the concept that we propose. You can see this nice plot that it's done by a colleague of us at CBDC. It's from Pep Navarro. The concept is quite easy. Okay, the idea, what we want to do, is that the emergency staff, okay, to use some kind of garment or equipment that it's equipped with indoor-outdoor positioning device. And this device should transmit the positions, even it's in indoor or it's in outdoor, okay, should transmit the information through an LTE network. The LTE network, ideally, it's the one that is going to deploy by the emergency staff by itself. So in this way, they can ensure that there will not be interferences and that the communication is reliable and it's sure. And then this communication will resend to the enhanced emergency management system that should include also a bigger, okay, or on a map on these people locations, and can be useful also for the postmortem analysis. But there's one thing, we can place the people over a map, but if the disaster is big enough, maybe the map it's not updated. So we believe that we should improve the emergency management system with updated cartography provided by the IOPES based fast mapping. And even we can provide with some kind of images or real-time video that can help to this decision. So just let me talk for 5 minutes about the technology. Okay, the technology, let's start with the drones, the IOPES. We are considering 2 different types of IOPES because we believe that they are really complementary among them. Okay, we have the fixed-wing drones. In our project, the fixed-wing drones will be provided by the people of KUAV, located here in Coisuspina, very near of Barcelona. And we are considering the use of 2 different types of drones. A small drone of 2 kilograms or a bigger one of 12 kilograms. Both has pros and cons, and the idea is to test both to see what they can provide at the end of the exercises and at the end of the test, and which should be more suitable regarding all the considerations, the mounting, the transport, piloting, the type of product that can serve to the users. Nice thing of drones is that can provide fast cartography really fast. It's a technology that it's already proven on emergencies. For example, maybe some of you, if you are from Spain, can remember that we have a big earthquake in Lorca almost 10 years ago. Okay, and the people from KUAV go there, fly the drones, if you have the permissions, if the emergency teams can do that, and they provide an orthophoto with high resolution images in less than 24 hours after the earthquakes. And if you make zooming off, you can see the damages on the city. So it's 10 years, the technology evolved a lot. So the idea is, let's use this technology in order to have updated maps on our emergency management system. Then on the other hand, we have this kind of IOPES, that it's the multi-rotor systems. They are lightweight and they can be static on the air. So the idea is to fly them with the thermal images, for example, and use them as a, it can be used as a repeater from radio communications, but can also be used as an image provider, okay, of a certain spot that you need to see something that is happening there, and it's something that it's sending you the video images, and you can see in real time what it's happening from an aerial perspective that gives you an idea of everything in a different way. So here, for example, we have a small video, okay, where you can see that you can monitor the different stuff after an accident, and the chief in the command-in-chief can see what it's happening. It's just a small example, okay? Then let's move to the second technology. It's the indoor and outdoor seamless tracking device. I think that I do not need to talk anyone about GPS or GNSS and its advantages. Think on our countries, on Europe, on the States, almost everywhere. People that have a smartphone, it's using GPS to go everywhere. It's like if you do not have GPS or you are not using it, it's something strange, okay, to go with maps and books. But all of us are aware that when we are indoors, the GPS, it's not working anymore, or it's not enough precise sometimes. If we are talking about emergency stuff that we need to know at which floor they are or at which room they are, GPS in indoors, it's not enough, because in indoors, if it's not GNSS, it's based on Wi-Fi, these smartphones, and the performance that are providing to us, it's not enough for the application, and it's not enough according to the requirements that the end users give to us. So here just a small plot on a trajectory that we performed on our premises, and here I do not know if you can see it properly, what the smartphone is giving to us, the actual readings. It's completely away of the true path. So we cannot rely just on GNSS or not, of course, on Wi-Fi in order to locate people. And we are thinking on using the latest advance in the field of SLAM or visual odometry. What this means? This means to use cameras. I like to use an example that I think that it's very clear to understand. We as humans, okay, are always using our eyes to locate ourselves and to move ourselves in the field. And we are not using GPS, of course, but we know, let's say that GPS, it's a little bit our knowledge of the environment. Okay, and the idea is, why not to use artificial eyes, that it's cameras, in order to do what our body or what our brain is doing always, that it's, if I walk 2 steps, my eyes know that I'm moving, and more or less I can move myself inside of the room. So the idea is to use GPS outdoors and to use cameras and visual odometry indoors in order to locate ourselves, and to use these artificial eyes and previous maps of the areas in order to locate people. So this can be done, and the test show us that this positioning can be done with a performance of around 0.5 meter or 2 meters outdoors, and maybe little less than 5 meters indoors. This means that if you want to know where your staff is located, this could be enough. And if there's an event or it's a replica of the earthquakes and you need to go and to search for someone, this can be very useful. Or if there's someone in the cave and you need to know at which place on the cave, it's a linear cave, more or less, where you should search for the people inside of the cave, this could be a solution. Okay, and this is just a small example on a trajectory, a path that we did inside our campus. It's a solution that provides the system to us. As you can see, it's a continuous solution, and give us without any problem if we are indoors or if we are outdoors, and at which room we are located. So we believe this technology can be very, very useful. Let's move to the third leg of our proposal, that it's the communications. We all know that more or less there are good coverage of communications all around Europe, or I must say, not in the poles, but mostly all around the globe nowadays. But when a disaster occurs, these networks can collapse. And the emergency teams use their own networks. The most famous, maybe it's Tetra, but Tetra, it's just for voice, and the bandwidth it's not that high. So if you want to send images or videos, it's not really enough. And with a network that we can deploy by ourselves, we want a network that we can deploy and that can guarantee to us voice and data, and that also can guarantee the quality of system. And this can be done through an LTE network that can be deployed in the field very fast. Okay, this is a technology that is provided by the Italian company Afane. It's tested, it's reliable, and we believe this could be a nice solution for the emergency staff in order to ensure that they will not have surprises when trying to transmit all this information that now maybe they cannot transmit. And of course, the jewel, okay, of the system is that we need to transfer this information. There's no communication if the sender and the receiver cannot share the information. So it's so much important to be able to generate the information and to transmit correctly this information in an efficient way to the end user. So we will explore all our potential by integrating our tools in the Icelandic company Sarai emergency management system. It's a system that is already used by the Icelandic civil protection teams, and that provide the different incidents, the different operations. It provides also maps. It's scalable. You can choose where do you want to present, which kind of information, what kind of task. It's very you can see the maps where all your teams or your staff and your assets are. So it's a system that it's deployed, it's developed, it's tested, and it's modular. And this is very important for a project like ours, because we are very interested in everything to be modular. So if we want to ensure that our ideas and our technology are accepted by all the emergency teams, we understand that some of them already use their own emergency management system. So the idea is that all our technology will communicate through a closed API that all these different emergency management system could integrate. Of course, Sarai's emergency management system will be the first and will have everything integrated, and they will benefit from all this technology from the very first moment. But the idea of all of us, it's all this to be modular enough so everyone can be interested on the piece of technology that it's more interesting for them. And how we are going to say, hey, yes, this works, or hey, this does not work, and we need to work more on this issue or on that issue, because we are going to perform 2 field exercises. And these 2 field exercises are going to be done during the next year, on March and on September. They will be done on the Barcelona Drone Center in Collsospina in Catalonia, in Spain. And the second one will be on the TCRH of Mosbach in Germany. Okay, as you can see, the first field, it's countryside, it's open space, but there's a deep valley, a deep corridor with a river without any kind of communication, very difficult communications. There are some caves there, and we want to test or to simulate there the flooding situation. Okay, there are some people that it's trapped in a valley because of a flooding, and we need to rescue them. The communications are very pure, the humidity is very high, so we want to test the system and all the behavior and the communications in that area. Nice thing of Barcelona Drone Center is the aerial space, it's segregated, so we are going to close the aerial space and we will have land and air just for our exercise. Second exercise, the one in Mosbach, will be more focused on indoor-outdoor buildings, on the heights, on the location of people inside of collapsed building, and we want to simulate more the earthquake situation. And as you can see, they have actually collapsed building, so we can do the test there. We also can fly on the area, so it's 2 very suitable fields in order to test these scenarios with real firefighters, with real chief commands, with all our technology, but without any kind of danger for anyone, neither for the population, neither for the people involved on the training. So I'm ending now. Just a few words to, as I said just a few minutes ago, the IOPES concept, it's not restricted to our consortium. It's not something that we want to do for us. This is intended to be implemented by any civil protection or emergency equipment. What we want to do is to transfer the technology to the users. Okay, can be used by municipal civil protection or for international emergencies. And we believe that our system is complementary to current systems. So we do not want to build from zero. We want to add something to what is already existing. So we believe it's applicable anywhere. Since we are not depending on the communication systems on the country, we believe that we can go everywhere when an emergency happens. And we should be able to cover maybe floods, earthquakes, and volcanoes, but also landslides and subsidences, also big storms and building damages. So within this project, we will focus on 2 different scenarios, but we hope that this can be exported to other scenarios. So if you want more information, we have, for us, it's very important to disseminate our proposal. So you have more information on this project on our website. We have also a Twitter account and a LinkedIn account. And we are also going to start with newsletter very soon, now that we start having information to transmit. So if you want to be subscribed to our newsletter, just send us an email to this email address, and we will add you to our newsletter. On the website, you will find it's updated every month, so you will find all the information of the project there. And with that, I conclude my webinar today. So if there's any question on your side, I would be very pleased to answer this. And just wants to thank you for being there, and thanks for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Eulalia, for your very nice presentation. We do have some questions that I will read for you.
Okay.
The first question is something that you have already, actually spoken about that, but was formulated at the start of your presentation. But anyway, I'm going to read it for you.
Yeah.
This is what kind of emergencies may be managed with IOPES? I mean, may IOPES be used in any kind of emergency? Are there any limitations?
Okay, at this moment, the biggest limitation from our point of view, it's the fire in the case of smoke. Since we are basing our system, our indoor-outdoor positioning system, on visual odometry. Okay, if there's smoke and we are indoor, this is something that we cannot cope with. If it's outdoor and we can use GPS and all the rest of the components can be used, but the visual odometry, that is what provides us information indoors, if there's a smoke or very dense fog, in the current status of the technology, we cannot cope with that.
Okay.
And underwaters, of course.
Thank you very much. Nice response. The second question is it possible to use IOPES everywhere, or it is limited to places where some kind of infrastructure exists?
It can be used everywhere, since we think that if we can deploy our technology, unless it is fully jammed and we cannot use the communications, this is not typically happens when there's an emergency, you know. It can be used everywhere.
Okay, that works fair enough. And the last question so far is, can you track the members of these emergency teams in real time?
Yeah. The idea is to use this in real time, and the location will be tracked, okay, for postmortem analysis. In any case, within this project, we also are considering all the things of data protection and personal intimacy. So the system is only going to be available when the emergency staff is working. Once they stop working, this location system should be shut down.
Okay, that was the last question posted by the participants.